Welcome back to the Lynn Miller Room, this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Let's talk a little women's basketball. The Eagles getting ready to start the season on Friday as they travel to Illinois State in Bloomington, Illinois. Not exactly Illinois State's campus, but we'll take it anyway. The WNIT will begin the Eagles season.
Absolutely, Jay. It's great to be here in the studio and great to have basketball season right around the corner. A couple days away now. Before we'll get on the bus tomorrow and tip off Friday at Illinois Wesleyan because of some scheduling conflicts at Illinois State. But really anxious, really excited to take on an extremely good opponent as we tip off this season.
You know, it's one of those situations. It's a very prestigious WNIT game. I think that shows a little bit about your program now, the fact that we're able to get invited to these events.
Well, when you talk, there's 16 teams, and it's an invitation-only tournament. It is based on your program's tradition, your past successes, and really what they project out of you. So it is an honor to be selected. It's also a tip of the hat to the Matthew Mitchells and Mike Bradburys of the world that really got this program started and going, and we're certainly trying to carry on that tradition of staying at the top of the Ohio Valley Conference and being competitive on the non-conference schedule nationally.
And, of course, this year the Eagles went from being a young team last year to a young team this year. I mean, no seniors on the club, and your talented freshmen from last year are sophomores, and you brought in another extremely good freshman crew. So you're really mostly underclassmen.
We are. We're extremely young, but we're extremely optimistic about our youth. And like I said, our 5 sophomores now got invaluable experience last season, really on-the-job training, if you will. And our freshmen this year, they'll do the exact same thing. We're excited about the immediate future and the road ahead. There's all signs lead to brighter days than what we saw last year, and I'm just really excited about this group, Jay.
You know, you take a look at your starting 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever your rotation will be early on this season, and you could tell at one time or another last year that they're going to be special players. Therese Robinson had her struggles early, came back, and down the stretch might have been one of your better players.
There's no doubt. Therese, talent-wise alone, Therese and Kylie Howe, our outstanding freshmen from Zanesville, are probably our 2 most talented, if you just took talent alone, our 2 most talented players. So getting them on the floor and in the system is paramount to us and our success. We work hard at it every day to facilitate that and making sure that those young ladies have the biggest opportunity for success that we can put them in.
You come back with, at point, Amisha Jones, who, moved her way into the starting lineup last year and hit for double figures many games out of the last, I guess, half of the season. Out of the last 14, she probably hit 10 of 14 or something like that, double-figure games.
Yeah, I think she finished her last 11 games she started. She actually scored in double figures. So Almisha's a electric point guard. When we have her and Therese out there at the same time, it's as good a backcourt in a guard-heavy league that the Ohio Valley Conference has. So really excited about her continued maturation and watching her expand and grow. You know, just like we watched toward the end of last year, what we've challenged them with is don't stop where you were last year. Continue to expand, continue to grow, continue to get better, and shoulder the burden of carrying a collegiate basketball team.
You know, and it's hard to think when they're out there playing the fact that you have mostly freshmen and sophomores, and your sophomores this year played a lot, but they're still sophomores. I mean, it's a fine line because you go, okay, we know what they can do, we saw what they can do, but sometimes they're still going to be sophomores.
It is. I was literally climbing the walls in practice just earlier today because we have those lapses where, you know, sometimes we just don't get it right, and I want them to get it right. I know they can get it right, but if they don't have the necessary experience yet to get it right, but it's coming. There's all signs, all roads point to that. I've just got to work on my patience. This is a great patience builder for me as we coach this group and move them along against a really tough non-conference schedule. So we're going to have to grow up pretty quick.
You know, this year I think you have a lot better maybe post-play all around because you've got, you know, as you mentioned, Kaylee Howe and Whitney Kyle as forwards, and then Mackenzie Arledge, who now is back. I mean, last year she played as a freshman,
Right.
but that was about like her senior year in high school because she missed her whole senior year with that knee injuries. I think we'll probably get to see the real Mac this year.
Let's hope so. She's showed signs of absolute dominance and brilliance in practice. Casey Rhines has done the same thing. But again, Jay, it's just a process, and we have to nurture them along in this process at the same time expecting them to perform. It's not a pass not to perform. So there's expectations we put on them every day. I feel like we'll be a strong team. We'll have a strong inside presence. And then running the true 5 out, it'll give us some opportunities to cut some of those guys in and out and finish with some hard post-ups.
How many in the rotation would you like to go this year?
Losing Natalie Greenwell really hurt us. So I would have optimally liked to play 9, maybe 10 at the most. Now we'll play 9. You're looking at basically a 9-man rotation. Probably that 8th and 9th guy will probably play up to 8 to 10 minutes. So it's really important that we get everybody on the same page and everybody clicking within their rotation.
People may not know this, but Natalie Greenwell, of course, blew out ACL last year at Jacksonville State, came back, had the surgery, went through the summer, and preseason blew out the same knee.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking because Natalie worked her tail off, Jay. She worked so hard to get back, and not only get back, she was actually in our lineup. She had worked that hard, and she was playing the best basketball I'd ever seen Natalie play. And to do it in the same fashion, in the same way that she did it originally, I hate it for Natalie, but she's going to be, I told her the other day, you're going to be the best coach that we have this year because I'm going to pick her brain and really try to get her player's point of view as we move along, and she's already kind of embraced that role as we begin down getting her back ready for next season.
Tom Hodges is our guest, and we're talking a little women's basketball here on the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. And, I was talking to Eric last year about this, that, he's just going to have to control you on this schedule, this non-conference schedule. The second straight year you look down there, you got Kentucky, you got Xavier, you got Cincinnati, and then, you come home, you're not really home to December 1st, and then you got East Tennessee State and Western coming in then.
Well, the hidden thing in the schedule is how the NIT shakes out.
Yeah.
With a win at Illinois State, we would potentially travel on to Iowa. So you're playing.
I thought you were scaring me. I thought you were going to say, like Ireland or something.
Well, those Irish can play now, Jay. They run the pick and roll better than anybody.
See, I haven't got an itinerary. Shaber hasn't got me an itinerary yet.
Well,
so I
well,
thought
we've moved on from Powder.
Okay.
He really held us down here for a minute. We're just really flying off the seat of our pants right now. But no trips to Ireland.
Okay, so we go to Bloomington Friday. We know that.
That's right.
After
that, it's really there's a myriad of scenarios that could happen. We know we'll play 2 more games in the tournament. Those games could be here in Morehead. They could be on the road. Not really sure. So we'll have to wait till Saturday to see how everything shakes out and what scenarios we fall into. But that's going to be 2 tough games, whoever it is. And then we hit Murderers Row right before Thanksgiving with Xavier, Kentucky, and then Cincinnati. It's going to be a really tough stretch for us. I asked a group the other day if anybody wants to coach. Anybody ever wanted to try their hand in coaching, that will be a good week. Send your emails to Eric White.
I was noticing when I got the schedule and I was looking at the schedule, and then this weekend in the paper reading about Matthew's team, they're saying, they're going to the Final Four. It would be a disappointment. I'm thinking that's a pretty good team that he's got coming back.
I think I'm talking to Matthew. He feels like it's his best team that he's had since he's been there, and that's saying a lot. They've been to 2 out of the last 3 Elite Eights. I think by the time we play them, they'll be coming off a game at Baylor. I think they have a great opportunity to beat Baylor. There's no reason to think they wouldn't be maybe top 5, maybe even top 2 or 3 in the country when we go to Lexington. So we're going to have to do a lot of growing up. We have to be extremely disciplined. We have to be physical. Jay, and we have to be very sharp fundamentally. That's where our success will lie this year, and that non-conference schedule really tests all three of those things.
Well, we mentioned Xavier on the 21st of November, 23rd at Kentucky, 28th at Cincinnati. Then you're home December 1st at East Tennessee State. December 6th, Western comes back on the schedule. And then you go to Ohio and Georgia State and UAB right there in a row right after commencement here. So right when the winter break begins. That's a tough non-conference schedule right there.
Yeah, it's really tough. Again, whoever made our schedule does not double as my agent. But you know, you can't get good unless you play good people. I'm a firm believer in that. And our record last year didn't really indicate how good we were. If you look at the margins, we were 10-19. We had 9 games decided either in overtime or by a single possession. So, you know, I think we're right there. I think challenging ourselves in the non-conference schedule, we need to mature through that, and there's no reason to think that we can't.
Tom, we'll see you tomorrow on the bus ride, and then we'll talk to you before the game on Friday.
That's right, Jay. Pack for 2 games.
We'll pack for a week.
All right.
Tom Hodges, head coach of Morehead State. Of course, the women's basketball team will get started on Friday night. The WNIT, the first round at the Shirk Center in Bloomington, Illinois, has a battle Illinois State. It's an 8:05 Eastern Time tip-off. What the Eagle Sports Network is going to do, they'll have the men's game on, and as soon as the men's game ends, about 7:45, 7:50-ish, we'll join pregame programming for the women's basketball game up in Bloomington, Illinois. That's going to do it with Tom. We'll come back. We'll have more. This is the Eagle Sports Coaches Show.